And I want Elizabeth to take that aspect of sometimes the perpetrator might, turn out to be or is it the victim turn out to be the perpetrator? It could be could go both ways. And of course, having interacted with these people, I'm pretty sure you've had someone who told you, yeah, but she started it, or but he started it. Why are they complaining? And yet they're the one who somewhat, quote unquote, invited me. So what are some of those things that maybe the victims might do that somewhat pulls the perpetrator towards that direction?
Okay. Yes, we've handled so many cases that start in that manner. Like people meet in Facebook, and maybe after chatting for some time, it could be this girl inviting the man to just have a drink.
Okay.
Then this man already thinks, oh, this is about sex.
Sharing gearbox.
Yeah, sharing gearbox. So, and at some point they even realize, this girl, the way she's behaving, is like kama sitampata vizuri.
Okay.
And then there's so many cases of sexual violence that happened because a man spiked a woman's drink, and they end up sexually violating them because maybe at some point they realized maybe she just invited me for that drink, and she really didn't mean that we should have sex. They end up spiking that drinks, then just have it easy. So it is common, and it's something that is very unfortunate that and it is the other, it happens either way.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Women also do the same thing. Yeah, they meet a guy and then they can end up violating them sexually, which is very unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. And also, for example, let's just come back to a family setup where a girl, maybe a boy, and we've had people say, yeah, but you see, you dress your child this way and there's a man, or there's the older brother, or there's an older cousin in the house. What do you expect? It's like it's your fault for having this, first of all, girl in the home and then dressing them in a certain way. And my question is, boundaries, like what happens there? Can't this girl or can't this boy just be kids, number one? Just let them be and not really think about, so the fact that you can see, maybe a certain body part, even if they're well dressed, and you start thinking, those thoughts. So where does boundary then come in? Leah, very quickly before we go on a break.
I want to say that sometimes we don't think that when parents show their nudity or introduce nudity to children, that's violence in and of itself.
All right.
But a lot of times the family environment is a very abusive environment. When parents choose to have sex in front of their children, probably you are living in one room, and you assume that this 3-year-old boy or 4-year-old boy is too small, does not understand. We have had stories, I'm telling you, I work with children. We have had stories of children telling us, Daddy always beats mommy and sleeps on mommy fighting her, like wrestling. What is that?
Okay.
It means they saw.
They see,
and when parents assume that this child is too small to understand, by the time this child grows up and understands, by the way, this becomes a very traumatic kind of a thing.
That's true.
For this child as they're growing up. So I'd say there needs to be boundaries for parents. Please don't have sex in front of your children. Please don't be inappropriate with each other in front of your children. In terms of even abusive conversations and all that. Don't abuse your child. Don't touch your child inappropriately, because how will you teach this child to not to know the wrong touch if you yourself you're touching them abusively? It looks like it is playful, but it needs to not happen. Why? So that you can teach your child that out there when somebody does this to you, it is not appropriate. So start with respect within the home. Respect one another within the home in terms of what you do. Sometimes parents or a house girl will be watching porn, and their child comes and they don't bother to stop it. And the child sits there because they are so engrossed in what they are doing. They don't notice that this child is seated. Yeah, and they continually do that. that is abuse for that child, and it needs to stop. So there needs to be boundaries in terms of what we allow our children to watch, what we allow, what we expose our children to. There needs to be boundary from the home setup, including abusive language. Like when parents, I had a child telling me that if I get myself dirty, my mom will shout at me. Parent, why would you shout at your child when they get that? What are they supposed to do?
They're children.
Like there are things that are, they are unacceptable. Please, parents, just be reasonable.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, with your
with the children.
Because the child will grow up with a lot of low self-esteem because of small things like those,
shouting,
so that they will never recognize unsafe things.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I
take
want to
a
add
quick...
something.
Can you answer after the...